Good morning, stamping friends. Brenda Hillard here at Create with Brenda. I have my monthly mystery stamping virtual event recording for you this morning. I'm going to be doing a little bit different card than I did. I'll show you the card that we did last night at the mystery stamp. But if you were unable to join us and you had cut out your products or your papers and were ready to participate with me, but then we're unable to join for whatever reason, rest assured, the day after mystery stamping, and when I say mystery stamping, it's held the second Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And I use a Zoom link for that. And is how you find out about it is either you follow me on Facebook at Create with Brenda. If you aren't a Facebook person, I do have a weekly newsletter, and you can subscribe to my weekly newsletter by going to my link. It's over here for createwithbrenda.com. So check it out there, subscribe to my newsletter, and then you'll see something like, I'm going to flip you down to my work surface for just a second. You'll get all of the information like this. So this was yesterday's, the date, the link. It tells you the supplies that you need, and then also your measurements. So it's really, really a fun event, and you go into it not knowing, not having any idea what we're making, and we assemble as we go. But the good part is if you picked the wrong paper or you picked the wrong punch or whatever, it doesn't matter. You still get that very fun, I'm going to come back on. You get that very fun layout. And I think if you look at any of the comments that people made about last night's mystery stamp, you'll see that they really, really enjoyed it. And it's kind of one of those things where then you really love the layout and you just can't stop making cards like that. So let's go down to my work surface. I'm going to put together the layout that we used in Mystery Stamp, and then I'll share some of the alternative projects that I made with the same layout. If you see any product or any supplies used that you would like to purchase, please order from me, and it's right up here at my online store, and I will link that down below the video in the description. Use the host code. If your purchase is over $50 this month in product before shipping, and $50 or more before tax and shipping, then I send you a fun little gift just from me, and it is a pack of the note cards and envelopes. They're 20 of the thick cardstock note cards and 20 envelopes. So I hope you'll take advantage of my special this month. All right, let's get to crafting, okay? Here we go. All right, it's the mystery stamp, and is what I had asked you to have ready was a piece of colored cardstock for the base, and this measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to even this up, and I'll bring in my bone folder and prepare my card base. And there we are. The other thing you needed was a piece of basic white. And if your card base is darker like mine, you're going to want 2 pieces of the basic white that measure 4 by 5 1/4. You needed 2 pieces of designer series paper, and you'll need 2 prints. So this is what I chose for print number 1. And these measure 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. So 2 pieces. You'll also need a piece of print number 2, and this measures 2 3/4 by 4. And then of course your medium envelope, and I have just a thin little scrap of my designer series paper, and I'll use this to decorate my envelope because of my no naked envelopes at Create with Brenda. All right, so before we actually get started, I have to grab one more piece of the basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4, because I'll need that for my inside, okay? And then my coordinating ribbon that I'm going to use, I'm going to actually use the Magenta Madness, and this is the 2020-2022 in color ribbon. So let's get started. We're going to take our first piece of basic white, and using our stamp and seal, I'm going to just add some adhesive. And when I put these on, I just kind of make sure that I've got an even border here and there. And then I'll do the same thing to that second piece. And there's going to be a gap between them here, but that's okay. And again, God, I have this little fuzzy that's stuck to my designer series paper. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to line this up again so that our borders are fairly equal and our edges here are matched up, okay? Now, I am going to bring in a retired hole punch. You can use, if you have a die, you know, like a small circle die, you can use that too. But I am going to use the retired 1/4 inch hole punch. So I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm just going to wrap it around my card like this. And I'm leaving the ends long enough so that I can tie a bow. All right, so I've got this long piece of ribbon, and I'll just measure it so that you know, 16. Yeah, it's about 24 inches of ribbon, which might be a little bit long. We may have to trim it, but that's okay. And next, I'm going to bring in my designer series paper. This is the one that measured 2 3/4 by 4. I'm going to take my hole punch, and about 2/3 of the way up, I'm going to punch a hole. And I'll put this over some dark cardstock so you can, oh, you can't really see it because it blends. Let's try this. It doesn't work either. Let's try this. Now you can see the hole right here, okay? All right. So I'm going to bring these up through, both ends come up through the designer series paper, okay? Just like that. All right. And then you still have room to flip it over, and we're going to add some full-size dimensionals. And I'm going to put 5 on. I'm going to put 1 in each corner, just like that. And then I'm going to put 1 in the center just to support it so it doesn't sag. Oh, I got stuff flying everywhere. I'm going to take the backs off my dimensionals. If you haven't seen that done with the Take Your Pick tool, it's pretty darn handy. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit there. All right, so now I'm going to flip, and I'm just going to pull up my ribbons, and then I'm going to center this right there. And now I'm just going to adjust my ribbons a little bit. And I think I want this one just a little bit longer, so I'm going to pull, and then I can pull here. Okay. Just so they're a little bit equal for tying, all right? So then I'm just going to very quickly. Now, if you're in a bow tire, you can just tie a knot. But I really like my bows. So there's my bow. And now I'm going to trim away my excess ribbon. Probably was a little long. You can, I would guess you could probably get by with maybe 20 inches, 22 inches of ribbon. So there's our card front. Isn't it cute? It reminds me of a package. And then I'm just going to add some Stamp and Seal, the adhesive, to the front of my card. And I just, these in colors, the 2020, 2022 in colors just are so vibrant and so bright, and they just really make this card pop. So the next thing I want to show you is what do we put on the front of this, right? So let me grab I'm going to grab my daisy punch, and this is the large. You know what, I didn't mean to grab the large. Let me get the medium. So here's the medium daisy punch, and I'm going to punch 2. 1, 2. All right. So then I can bring in I have my coffee sitting there. I didn't want to spill it. My mini glue dots. And I'm just going to attach these together, alternating the petals. And then I can just kind of bend them up a little bit to give my daisy some visual interest. Doesn't that sound technical? Visual interest. Yeah. And then I'm going to take a full-size dimensional on the back, and I'm going to add this right there. And let's bring in a couple of the these are retiring, but there are some new embellishments coming that coordinate with the 2020, 2022 in colors. But let's add a couple of these bumblebee embellishments to, oops, that one got away from me a little bit. I'm just going to put a few of these in the center to make it look like the center of the flower is seated. And I'd like to have an uneven number usually, but I think is what I might do is just go around, make a little circle with those. I just kind of want to butt it up in there, and it's not, they aren't budging. There they go. There, that's what I was working for. Sorry, that took a little bit. And then I'm just going to put one in the, I'll push one down in the center there too, so it gives it that real, like I said, that seedy center look. How good is that? Now, if you wanted to add a sentiment to the front, you certainly could. One of my favorite punches is retiring, and that is the classic label punch. For this particular card, I'm not going to put a sentiment on the front, but like I said, you certainly can embellish and recreate. I just wanted to give you the basic layout here. I'm going to add some adhesive and put in my card center or my insert, and I'm just adding that same piece of basic white, the 4 by 5 1/4, so that my sentiment and my writing can be seen. I have a thin piece of designer series paper. I believe I know it measures 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to add some liquid adhesive. And I'm going to put that right on the inside of my card. That just helps give it a really nice finish. So there's that. And then our sentiment. There's a new set of stamps coming. It's called Inspired Thoughts. I just love them because of the, I love when there's 2 different fonts in the same sentiment. All of a sudden, I just went blank there for a minute. But I think is what I want to do is I want to make this a thank you card. So is what I'm going to do is take my thank you so much. And if you're new, you attach it. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Attach it to your acrylic block. I'm going to use the Just Jade ink, which will coordinate beautifully with my cardstock and my designer series paper. And I'm just going to add the thank you so much. How cute, right? Do you love it? I do. And I hope that next month for Mystery Stamp, it'll be May 12th at 7 o'clock. I hope you'll join me then for another Mystery Stamp virtual event via Zoom. If you have any questions about how Zoom works or need help with that, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to help you, and it is really a fun night and a fun bunch of gals that join in for that. And we'd love for you to join us. Have a great day, everybody, and happy mystery stamping.